Okay, so now that there's a functioning template, let's add some more interactivity to this panorama. In this example, the user can click on an icon to bring more information and close the pop-up window when done. To do this, I prepared two images, one for the icon and one for the pop-up window. First, let's drag the icon directly under the panorama container. When first added, panorama images are placed right in front of the camera. So this appears way too large for our purpose. To change the distance between image and camera, go inside Image Property and adjust its radius. The higher this value, the farther the image will be from our viewpoint. But if the value is too large, you'll notice that the image has disappeared completely. That's because it's so far away now that it's actually behind the background image group. So usually a good radius will be around 500, which will keep the image floating right in front of the background. Now, since the icon is still a bit too large, I will adjust the scale to 50% of its original size. Next, to adjust its position, use the horizontal and vertical properties. For instance, let's say I want to move this icon above this ridge. I will give it a positive horizontal angle to move it towards the right, and a positive vertical offset to move it up. To fine-tune the position, you can also use delta x and delta y, which will simply translate the object without changing its angle of rotation. So next, I will do something similar for the pop-up window and place it right next to the icon. So after rotating and positioning the window, I've also turned off its initial visibility and added an event for icon to show the pop-up window on click. Now the icon is in the right position, and on click, the pop-up window will show up. However, we also want the window to close after clicking on the top right corner of this image. Elsewhere in VXLab, we can easily accomplish this by using a tab area. But in Panorama, there's a special object called Panorama Tab Area that can be used much the same way as regular tab area and has the same properties as panorama images. So let's add one to the screen. First, I'll change the background color to make it easier to see. Then position it just like an image. Now turn off the background color and add an on-click event to hide the window. As a final step, after the window appears, for better user experience, we might want the panorama to automatically move to the position of the window. And there's an action specifically designed for this purpose. Under the onClick event for the icon, add an action with the container as a target object. And the target action can be either step to position or step to object. I'll try the first option. Now the only change necessary should be the horizontal angle. And since I want the position to be the same as the one that appears in the editor, I'll simply copy the horizontal angle from editor mode and give it a duration of half a second. And now there is a transition as expected.